we finally, today, we got justice for Natalee.
So Joran Sloot finally confessed to murdering Natalee Holloway. And Natalee's mother, Beth, finally got some justice. Let's check out her body language.
This has been the most unimaginable journey, and I know everyone has been with us on this, and we are so appreciative of it. But for us to finally put this to rest.
Watch as she uses her hands several different ways over a few short seconds here. The first thing she's going to do is use the push away method. She's finally done with this.
This has been...
Notice the open hand. She's finally done with this. She feels like she can finally let go of it.
The most...
Now notice here that open hand has turned into a fist. It's because when she's talking about this journey she's been on, this issue that she's had, it's been difficult. It's something that she's had to take hold of with her entire life for the last 18 years.
Unimaginable journey, and I know everyone has been with us.
Now notice her hand here. She's not pushing it away. She's opening it. She's talking about how grateful she is that all these people have been a part of the journey. She can finally let go of it.
Us on this, and we are so appreciative of it. But for us to finally put this to rest.
Now notice in this next clip, she again uses her hands. When she talks about it being over and being released, her hand goes like this. And then when she talks about the 18 years, what she calls a never-ending nightmare, it goes back to a fist.
And being over, as I said, it's better than closure because our never-ending nightmare had to end. And we are so grateful that we can say that today, that it is over. And that is getting justice for Natalee.
Now in this next clip, one of the folks that's asking questions was talking about the fact that he isn't being convicted of more crimes. And she asks Beth, do you have what you need? And watch what Beth does. She says, oh, I have what I need. Because she doesn't need those convictions. She needed to know what happened to her daughter. So you'll see me play it and then it'll run back so that you get what she's saying.
Dad, or do you have what you need? No, I have what I need, but I have what I need.
Did you believe what you said?
Do you need that, or do you have what you need? No, I have what I need, but I have what I need.
Did you?
How did it feel to see him in the courtroom shackled?
It feels victorious. I feel like you finally begin to transition from the victim to the victor, and it begins to make the pain and suffering feel somewhat less intense because you are here. You are at this point, the pinnacle of the journey, and you've gotten justice and you've gotten the answers you've been so desperately seeking. So it felt victorious.
Notice in this clip that another person asks, what was it like to be in the courtroom with him? And she said, it feels victorious. Opening her hand, she's finally able to release it. She has answers that she wants.
How did it feel to see him in the courtroom shackled?
It feels victorious.
Notice that open hand. She's finally satisfied.
I feel like you finally begin to transition from the victim to the victor.
Notice here when she says transition from the victim to the victor, and it's that back and forth of being free of the problem, but the victimhood is also still a part of that 18 years of suffering that the family has went through. All right, I want you to watch her hand here. She says begins to make the pain and suffering. Every time she talks about the pain that she's went through for 18 years, it's that clenched fist. So it's going to repeat here a couple times so that you can see it. She's going to say, it begins to make the pain and suffering.
And it begins to make the pain and suffering, begins to make the pain and suffering, begins to make the pain and suffering feel somewhat less intense.
In this last clip, notice how intently her neck comes forward as she says that when she confronted him, she was able to look him right in the face and say that he is the killer. He will always be that. In other words, when she leans forward with her shoulders, she leans forward with her chin. She leans in and drops her head like this. This is saying to the person listening, you are the killer. This is who you are. She's assigning an identity to him. He liked to pretend for years that it wasn't him and he was just some victim in this, but mom is having her day of justice and she's having her victory here, and I'm with her 100%.
I was able to tell Joran that I think in this long ending nightmare, I was able to express things to him that I had been wanting to tell him, as far as, telling him who he is, and he is a killer. he is a killer. He will always be the killer. He will always be now the black mark in Aruba.
And you'll notice that her head nods as she's saying the words. And when anyone is looking into a camera, look at any of the presidential races, look at any of the races for politics. When a politician looks at the camera and they want you to believe them, they say something and they drop their head like this. They nod their head because it's subliminal to get you to go, oh, I agree. And that's exactly what the mom is doing here, and I cheer for her.
You know, telling him who he is, and he is a killer. He is a killer. He will always be the killer. He will always be now the black mark in Aruba.
So what do you think? Did mom finally get justice? How do you feel about this thing? I, for one, am very happy that she finally has resolution and she finally feels victorious. Do me a favor, if you've made it this far, click on one of these other videos, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video.